Good day. Aussie Bonsai bloke, here you go. Today, well really, still is today, but this is the third video in one day. Although they probably haven't been put on the net like that because they take a little while to edit, but as you know, I don't do much editing, so it's not that bad. Beauty. Time for another one. Oh, another thing, you can see I still got this stupid haircut. I am going to get rid of it. But I was just letting the sides grow enough that when I cut it all back to the same length, I don't get sunburnt. So I reckon it's long enough now on the sides, so I can cut it back to probably number 3 all over. Have a shave as well, clean myself up, and yeah, then I won't quite look so feral, although I won't be far off. Okay, so once again, this one here is a bottle brush. I'll just make sure you're in focus. I did stuff up the focus once before, so anyway, so this is a bottle brush. As you can see, it's pretty healthy. I've got a bit of moss on the trunk here. I might have to get some vinegar out and clean that up. It's starting to become a bit of an issue, to the point that even creeping oxalis and weeds are growing out of the side of the trunk, which is really strange. But anyway, so let's weed this. Not too much to tell you about weeding, you just pull them out best you can and just clean up the pot again. I did try to put enough moss in that weeds didn't come, but I got a bit slack on the weeding, so the weeds took over. If I was a little bit more full on about looking after it, I could have kept the weeds at bay and kept the moss growing. Still is some bits of moss in here, but not much. Like here's a patch of moss here. Nice green bit of moss. So there's still some bits of moss in there, but generally weeds have taken over. That's alright, we'll give it a bit of a weed now, and all will be forgotten. But I do got to get rid of this moss on the trunk. Although it looks cool, it actually gets rid of the old bark, and part of the attraction of these bottle brushes is the old bark, so I should really get rid of that. I should do a video one day. What you do is you just get vinegar, full strength, on a paintbrush, paint it on. You come back the next day, it'll be yellow. In about 3 or 4 days, it's gone, completely dead. But yeah, I'd have to. I suppose I could do it now if I'm not too lazy. I could do it now and then show you, give you an update of this when I work on another one in a few days' time, seeing as I'm planning on doing a few videos in a row. Maybe I'll do that. See how I feel at the end of the videos, whether I get the old vinegar out, show you how to get rid of the moss off the trunk, because it is detrimental to the bark. It'll eat it away. It's alright on a smooth bark tree, something that exfoliates every year like a crepe myrtle. It doesn't really matter because it's not going to hurt the bark because it exfoliates anyway, so you don't get this old craggly bark. But something like a bottle brush where the bark accumulates over time, builds up over time, you do want to try to keep the moss off the trunk. This one was a bit more of a pain to weed. It's got that creeping oxalis crap in it, and all the bulbs are really hard to pull out. Painful. Hurts your fingers too because you've got to really squeeze it hard to get them out. But anyway, all good. Pretty much done. You can get rid of that moss out of there now. It's completely bare, empty pot now. Okay, So that's that. Alright. Have a drink of my beer after all that effort. Okay, so a bit of background on this tree. I bought it as a stock plant in a big pot, but I just bought it for the pot because the tree was crap. This was a crappy tree, but in a really good pot. This is not the pot it came with. And I pulled it out of that good pot. I think it was a ceramic pot for about 80 bucks. And I put a different tree in that pot. I can't remember what pot it was now, but anyway, then I put it in this black tub and forgot about it for a few years. And one day I come back to it and I thought it's starting to look pretty good now. Like it's growing, healthy. And I've styled it a couple of times, probably in the last 2 years, because I did get a bit of interest in it. So we'll come back in today and have another go at it, trim it back. Not quite sure if you can see, but I think in the original video that I styled it, all of them are on video actually, the styling of this one. The original one I styled it, what I'm trying to do is to make it look like a mallee out in the native landscape of Australia. And what you have with mallees is you have almost like 3 different tree canopies in the one tree. So you can see the canopy of the tree looks like it's here, but then it shoots out the middle, and you'll have another canopy up here, another one a different layer here, and then you have some close in shoots which create almost another separate canopy here. So that's the idea. I'm trying to develop a technique to do it easily. I don't really want to go silly on it and just do it now for the sake of it, but I might, just for the video. So we're going to have a canopy here, and when they have these canopies, the canopies are fairly uniform. Even though they're all irregular and all over the place, when there is a canopy, it's fairly uniform. I'll try to show you outside one, but it'll be pretty hard, or I'll put a photo up. I'll just have a look outside. There is one outside, but it's a fair way away. We'll just bring outside, see if we can see it. Well, there's sort of a couple around here. Here's one here, it's a fair way away. You can see it has a canopy through the middle, and then another big high canopy up there. So the bottom looks like a tree, and then there's like a separate tree stuck on top. And if we come over to this one here, just zoom out a bit again. Well, that's another thing I did. I put an old tank in as a woodshed, so that's done. And here you can see we've got the canopy through the middle, and another canopy at the top with a few little bits of canopy in the middle. And same with that old one over there. You can see you've got a tuft down the bottom, a canopy there, a second canopy there, then a third taller canopy up the top. And that's sort of how the mallees grow. Almost like a parachute going up into each individual canopy. So I'm going to try and replicate that. So let's go back in the shed. We'll see if we can't replicate it. Like I said, I have been, I'm still zoomed in. I have been working on this one already, so it's got a bit of that shape there already. But it has gone a bit bushy now, so it's starting to look, I guess, more like a bush than that tree. So yeah, look, I'm in a bit of a dilemma because you can come in here and you can literally cut, you can find that height of the canopy that you want, and you can literally try to cut everything at that height, right, for that. So this branch wants to be that canopy. But another thing I was thinking, because they're all pretty much the same height, why can't you just grab a bunch of twigs hold them together, cut them all, okay? So you can see that, I've cut that. Let's let it go and see what happens. Not that bad, is it? You know, if this doesn't work, it's not a big deal because these trees do grow fast. And then another thing too is to pull some of these leaves off from the inside, because you'll notice you can see all the branch structure right up to that canopy when you have those types of trees. So I'll do the same here. I'll grab a little handful, okay, cut. See what we end up with. Okay. In actual fact, I think this one here, I'm meant to have it a separate height to that one. So here, I'll cut this, same height as that one. You can see there's a height there and a separate height up there now. And then these ones here, come in. God, just cut my skin. Lucky they're not very sharp, but they're almost cut into my skin a little bit. You can just see it. You can just see where I nicked it. Just a little bit. Lucky I didn't go any hard. If I chopped it hard, I could have been in some trouble there. Okay. So you can see them two different heights. And I want to continue that height on over here. So I'm going to do the same. Just going to grab a handful. You can see that good handful. I'll try and go closer actually. Just bring you up to the same level. Bring you back slightly. Okay. Now we want to do it at the same level as what I did here. So what I'm going to do, see it's just starting to bleed just a little bit. Geez, Sam, you're an idiot. Okay, and then I'll grab the handful like that. This is all an experiment, so you know, maybe don't go trying this yourself. Wait and see whether mine turns out or not. And I'm pretty happy to do that at the same height as this other one here. So okay, I'll cut into there and I'll try not to cut myself this time. I'm a little bit more wary. Okay, so I'm holding on to that. You can see it's all been flat cut. Let's let it go and see what happens. Bring it back a bit. You know, I think it's working. I think it is working. That is such a simple way of doing it if it works. It's going to be a really simple way of doing it. Okay, well let's try it. I'll just keep bloody doing that, that's good. Anyone think I've got the coronavirus? I've been coughing a bit. Maybe I haven't had enough liquid in my throat here. Got to go and make some lasagna inside soon, so Mrs. is at work, so she's got me cooking. Not good, eh? Right, so this side here, we just want to see, you know, this is all experimenting. I'm experimenting here because I just want to try and find a nice, easy method of doing it rather than going through and just tediously cutting every one. Just try and find a fast method. So this side here, I want to actually have level with this one over here, I reckon. Well, I could have it down. I'll try it higher first. This one can either go higher or lower because there's a lot of twigging around. Okay, so that's higher. Do this one higher. Do this one the same height. Maybe I'll go a tiny bit lower. If this works, you can call the Aussie native Mallee. In 10 years time everyone might be copying me doing this, and you can call it the Aussie Bonsai Bloke Mallee Style. will be the Mallee style. You just hold it all together, cut it. Okay, let's try down here. This is a bit weaker, so I'm only going to cut a little bit off. Yeah, look at that. Aussie Bonsai Bloke Mallee Style. This is our new Mallee Style. You just grab a bunch, cut it. One there didn't quite get the same height. Okay. Then this one over here, that can go the same height as this level. So we can cut that. Another one at the back here. Cut that same height. Bloody beauty. Unroll. Okay. How are we looking? Now, another thing mallees have, I think I tried to explain it before, but I wasn't very clear. They have the same canopy height in a few different spots. So it looks like a few different trees mixed together and then overlaid each other with it. So it looks quite weird, and they have the parachute style. But another thing they have, they quite often have these back budding shoots right in on the trunk, really close, which most people would cut off, but these little tufts of foliage right close in on the trunk actually look pretty cool. So what I'm going to do here is grab this clump, cut it back pretty tight, and you can see, cut these two behind. So you can see now we've got these little clumps. You can see it all forming, can't you? I guess the only thing is we've got to worry about is whether they get too weak and die off. I guess if they do, they do. It's just bad luck. Then I might have to try and find a different type of tree to do this with. Because this is a bottle brush, you know, and it's, well, I think it's starting to look a bit like a mallee, I don't know. I'll get to the back branches and you'll see more. Okay, let's spin it. Okay, so now we want to do a different height here. I can grab this whole bloody lot, look at that. I hope this works. Aussie Bonsai Bloke Mallee Style. It's got a ring to it. Mallee Style by Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Okay, so we've held it all together, the whole lot. Chopped it all back together. Nice and even, let it go. Oh, I'll be damned. That's not bad. Not too bad at all. And then this clump here can go the same height as this one. I'll just cut this little clump back a bit harder. Okay. And then this clump here can go that same height. So you want to choose about 3 or 4 different heights or levels in the tree where you want the foliage to stop. And you really should go back in later, and I'll do this one at lower height, which is nearly the same as that one. Should go back in later and clear off some of these stems of the leaves. I might do that, we'll see how we go for time. You've got to make some lasagna for tea. Okay, same again. Just go in there, cut it back, same height. Same height. Bloody beauty. Okay, now we've got the back one here. Now, we've got to work out what height we want that back one. It's sort of grown a fair bit. From the front, don't know if we want it all the same, or we could create 2 levels. We could create, see from the front, you've got this level here. You could either create the whole thing that level, or you could do this sort of front side one that level, and then do the back one at a slightly higher level before you get up to the ultimate apex. So let's try that. Let's do this one a little bit lower, same height as this one over here, pretty well. This is bloody simple. If this works, this is a very, very simple technique. You just grab it, cut it, clean off the odd one, that is for some reason a different height. Maybe you didn't grab it properly with your fingers. Here's another clump in here, needs trimming back to that height of that canopy, the main canopy. It's definitely going to be the main canopy, that height. Okay. So it'll create some really dense ramification at that height. Okay, so we got that height. How far do we go at that height? We'll just chop a few more in that clump. Okay. Okay, so we got that height, couple of clumps at the front. This one here I'd like to get stronger, but at the moment it's not. And quite often you'll find that on a mallee, we get a bottom weak branch. Okay, so now we want to do a layer up here that's higher than those two, this one and this one, but lower than the main apex. Let's try that. Hold it together. Aussie Bonsai bloke style. Chop it all flat on the top. Let it go. Look at that. Bloody beauty. Okay. And then another thing you can do is you can go back. See the height of this one at the front? You can have that height, and then at the back here, you can go back to the height of that. Okay, see that? Just want to chop this side back a bit more. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Probably cut that one to that height, and then I want to do another lot, same as here. Might even cut all of these to that height, excluding that one, yeah. So I'll cut all these to that height. Okay. And then I'll also cut this lot to that height. Grab them all together, snip. Through the leaves and all. Bloody beauty. I hope this is recording. This is a momentous occasion here. This is a new style. 10 years time, you're going to have people raving about this style for Aussie natives. I can already see the tree turning into a mallee. Right, so you've got a few different levels there. Something strange is happening over here. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'll cut that back to that height. What's going on over here? Okay. Now we want to do a higher one. So just grabbing the whole lot again. But not quite as high as the main apex. You can see how high that is. I'm going to go lower than that, but higher than this one here. So we're creating all these different heights and points of interest, you know. Now, because they're a little bit more immature, it looks slightly funny. I think as they get more mature, it'll look less funny. I'll just go down slightly. I actually feel like I want to go down a little bit on this one. Look at this, you just cut. So easy. Getting bits of bloody bottle brush in my beer, but that's alright. Adds to the flavour. Okay. I think we could say this has been a one beer tree, which you wouldn't believe it, being as big as it is, but this new method really is creating results fast. Okay, so now, here we are, this is the main apex. And I'm going to start off higher first, because we can always cut it back more. We can't put it back on if we cut it too much. I actually like that really high. Stuff looks sweet. If you can imagine that being a big mallee out in the bush, you can see all the different apexes. I think I need more of a, maybe more of a division here, but it's not really, you know. Maybe what it is this side bit here needs more of a division down lower. That could be what it is. I'll just have a look at it. Okay, so we could go, this one on the side, we could go a fair bit lower. There's a lot of ramification in there. And that gives it more separation from this height. More of a believable separation. So that's pretty cool. And then we can cut some off that aren't that height. They're just drooping down too much. Because bottle brush does tend to droop a bit, so I don't know what you think. Let me know what you think, guys. Is this a new style or what? If I look at that now, that's really starting to look like a bloody... What was that? It said maximum, on the camera it said maximum file size. I'd hate to lose this. Okay, I've just started recording again in case there was a problem. Mate, let me know what you think about this new Mallee style. I'm going to call it the Mallee style. I could be the first person to develop... Ah, Jesus. That's what that bloody box sawn does to you. Look at that. Stuck in there. Lucky it didn't go in very far, but hell. That's why you got to be careful for those bloody box sawns. That was a previous tree. Oh, look at this all going in my drink. Lucky that one's already finished. Yeah, let me know what you think. This could be the new style for creating mallees. Literally just grab a handful, cut it. Grab a handful, cut it, do it all at different heights. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here on the camera with you guys and I'll give it a quick spin so I can see it spinning and see if it really looks like a tree or not. This is on Adrian Eggleton's turntable, by the way. Let's give it a good spin. That does look like a friggin' mallee, doesn't it? I hope you can tell I'm getting pretty excited. I'm actually quite excited about how good it's turning out. Beauty. So what we could do now is come in under here and clean off things that haven't made it to the right height, just to make it look cleaner. The only issue with doing it too early on is you might get a weak shoot like here. I might leave it till next time because you might get a weak shoot like here, which would come up, create the canopy and give you more twigging underneath, so more fanning out, more of that parachute type look with all the strings coming down. And that will add to it in time once it gets to the height of the rest of it. If I was to go through and pull all these shoots off that aren't quite up there, I may find that I'm actually ripping off some quite integral pieces that will eventually really add to the look of the whole thing. So it's still quite immature in the way of the styling, but it's getting there. It really is getting there. You can really see, I hope you can see what I'm trying to do. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. Should be good. Us, you know, Aussie Bonsai people have to develop our own look, our own unique style. I'm sure it's going to be some sort of an elegant you know, like the Mallee style, like this one. So what I would consider an elegant style tree, even though it does have the big powerful base with all these branching and height, and basically the height of the tree compared to the trunk. If you were to develop one of your traditional bonsais with that sort of trunk, you would probably end your apex probably up here. Instead, I want to go taller, and I'm probably going to let this fill out more over time and get even taller. But for now, that'll do. It's made it look quite believable, and I'm pretty happy with that. So I don't know what else to say, but it just really, that's a really simple technique. I haven't seen anyone else do it before. They might have, but I haven't seen it. I'm going to call it the Aussie Bonsai bloke technique. Right. Done. I'll give you, no worries, that's all I'm going to do. Like I said, in time when everything's fully developed, you can pull the leaves off from lower down, and then it'll have clean twigging right up to where you get the, so this will be all clean, which is what you do see in nature. You see it all clean all the way up to where you got the canopy. But like I said, I don't want to do that yet because there's some weak branches in here which will grow up to the top and then add to your twigging in time. So I'm going to leave them to grow. I'm not going to push the issue now and take all the leaves off and then have not have those shoots end up contributing to the top. So I'm going to put it back on the bench, let it regrow. Hope you'll agree it's looking pretty cool. I hope you can see what I'm trying to create with it. Australian Mallee Style. Now we'll see how we go. No worries. Cheers for watching, Aussie Bonsai bloke. This was a really good video. Really happy with it. Really makes me realise why we do bonsai, when things like that just happen and everything just worked out beautifully. So like, share, subscribe, tell your mates about it. I hope you like this tree. Give me some feedback, let me know what you think. See if you can see what it looks like. I know I've repeated myself a few times, but I'm pretty excited. So anyway, I'll give you a spin of the tree on the way out, and then maybe have a close-up of the trunk and looking up into the canopy. Hopefully looking up into the canopy looks fairly believable too, we'll see. Like I say, it does have to mature a bit more. Oh, bloody coronavirus. But it is getting there. Right, let's give it a spin, and I'll catch us next time. Cheers. Okay guys, sorry about that. I forgot to show you the vinegar. So to get rid of moss on the trunk, I just get standard white vinegar, put it in a glass. You don't need much. Get a little brush. Okay, now all you want to do is basically just paint it on the moss. You don't want to get too much in the roots of the tree. sort of dab it on. Don't want to get too much in the roots. Try and stay away from the foliage, although to be honest I don't think it would hurt it too much. You just put that all on the moss, dab it on. You could even use a sponge if you wanted to use a sponge. However you find is the easiest way to get vinegar all over it. And I'll show you this in a few days. Okay, show you the results. And then this might be the last video for today. We'll see. But I'm pretty enthused now, especially after this tree. It's amazing, you know, if you don't do bonsai for a while, you sort of lose a bit of interest. But as soon as you start doing it again, you get all reinvigorated to carry on and keep going. I'm really enjoying today. Third video, one day. Like I say, they won't come out like that, but take a little bit of editing with my limited editing skills. Plus, I don't like to edit too much for you guys. I like to keep it pretty raw. Show you the whole process. No editing out all my mistakes. Okay, so we're just going hard, getting it all wet with vinegar. Really nice and wet. And I'll show you this in a few days. You'll be surprised. It just kills it. And then after it kills it, I'll let it fall off in time on its own. If you try to brush it off, you'll brush off some bark with it, I guarantee it. If you let it drop off on its own, the bark will generally stay behind and then dry back up. Because what happens is the bark under this is pretty moist because you've had all this moss on it. But it should dry back up and stay on there, we hope. If you were to try to brush this off, it's a fair chance you'll take all that bark with it. Alright, so I've put a fairly good portion of vinegar on, really dabbed it on, got it quite wet. I'm pretty happy with that. If I miss a bit here and there, I can come back and do it again in a couple of days. It's not going to matter. Not going to matter at all. No worries. Cheers. That was vinegar gone. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like I say, please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Tell your mates about the channel, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.